so much. Well, for many, writing a novel is part of the great American dream. But what is it really like? Well, our next guest knows firsthand. She quit her job to write full-time, and it was hardly instant success by anyone's account. But now, Julia Heaberlin's mystery Playing Dead, which is set in and around Fort Worth, is quickly gaining success, and she is here on GMT to tell us all about it. Good to see you.
Oh, it's great to be here.
And congratulations, because this book is getting quite the buzz.
Oh, thank you so much.
It just came out a couple months ago, not even the end of May, right?
Just about 3 weeks ago.
So you described this book as a twisty mystery. What do you mean by that?
Well, let's see. I think it's a little bit of three things. It's a little bit of chick lit, a little bit of Texas chick lit, a little bit of psychological thriller, and a little bit of mystery. I tried to mix all the genres. And I tried to make as many twists as possible.
I love where the idea for this book came from. Can you tell our viewers?
Yes, it's actually based on a real-life event that happened to me, which is a woman sent me a letter, a stranger sent me a letter saying that I could possibly be her daughter kidnapped years ago. And that turned out not to be the case, but it was a stunning little moment to think, just for a second, what if my whole life was a lie? You know, and that is sort of how this book spins out. It starts with this character, Tommy McLeod, receiving the letter, and then all sorts of wild fictional things happen from that point on.
Well, they say to write what you know, so is that where this starting point came from, and is that why you based it in Fort Worth?
Yes, I think that's true. One of the things I did want to do was give a little bit of a truer picture of Texas than I think a lot of people out there in the rest of the world think. You know, that we're not all full of Botox and big hair, and that, you know, a lot of Texans have a lot of dirt under their fingernails and, you know, are very kind, good people. So I tried to kind of populate it with a lot of characters as well and give this character, the protagonist, a voice that was kind of fun and smart and heroic. And she likes her hair a lot.
She likes her hair a lot, too. One thing I love about you is you quit your job to do this, and you essentially reinvented yourself. I don't want to say what age, but...
Oh, I'll say.
Okay.
I started this at 45.
45, not an age a lot of people think about reinventing themselves.
Right. And this is something I wanted to do since I was 15, and I thought, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. So I quit a pretty good job to do this, and it took me 6 years to get to this point. Where I have a published book from the first word. So.
And speaking of that, you were a little skeptical at first that this was ever going to take off. Did your husband feel the same way?
My husband was a great supporter. I don't think it would have happened without him. He never came home and said, "What have you been doing all day?" I mean, it was just always, "You can do this." And I guess at some point, about 3.5 years in, I had a little bit of a crisis thinking I should quit. And I guess if I have a message, it's that don't give up to those writers out there, because I think 2 months after that, I had the contract with Random House for 2 books.
How did you handle that, though? Because you did get a lot of feedback from other publishers saying, look, Julia's great, but ... you know, the bottom line is we're not going to do it. So after getting letter after letter, how did you handle that and not succumb to defeat?
It hurts. I mean, it really affects your self-worth. And you know, I think that it's mostly because there were people around me who cared and supported me. You have to surround yourself with those kind of people who kind of believe in dreams. So I would say that is what propelled me along, and also just something inside me that said I could do it.
And aren't you glad you did?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, what has the success of this book been? And it's been such a short amount of time so far. What's that been like for you?
It's a little bit overwhelming, and it's interesting because you have, again, both sides of the spectrum. You have people sort of raving, and then you have people who don't like it at all, you know, the Amazon reviews and all that. So all of that sort of is, it's very exciting, but it's not what I like, which is sitting in my sweats and, you know, writing at my kitchen table.
Sitting in tears, and what did you say at one point, the review, you were sitting in the middle of the street with poop on your gloves?
That's right.
I love that. So you're writing your second novel right now. Can you tell us?
That was dog poop on my gloves.
Yes, we want to make sure everyone knows that was dog poop. So you're working on your second novel now.
Yes.
Can you tell us just really quickly a little bit about it?
It is not the same character. It is about a group of kind of bizarre Texas women in a rich town. It's sort of loosely based on Southlake.
Oh, okay.
And a New Yorker comes into that group of women. They all have secrets, the New Yorker and also the Texas women. So
Very
it all
exciting.
collides.
All right. Well, the book is called Playing Dead. Great read. Thanks so much for being here on Good Morning
Thanks
Texas.
for having
Great
me.
to talk to you. Interesting story. All right, Amy, we're going to toss things over to you.
All right.